Assalamu alaikum all and welcome to JK's Corner again. One thing I have started doing is actually cooking for health. So today I'm going to share with you my egusi soup recipe. You can see here I have a lot of tatashe to blend. I have a couple of hot peppers and 4 onions. In a pan, I put my palm oil. I always decant into a tub where I can scoop how much I need out. So I felt it was too much, so I actually took some of the lumps back out. I know we are used to seeing lots of palm oil in a pan when making egusi, but I'm trying to eat for health, and I think we all should be doing the same. So anyway, the oil heated a bit, and then I added some onions and let that fry a little bit. And I think we need to be selective of how much, which soup we use a lot of oil for. So for instance, egusi is high in protein, of course, also high in fats. But the good thing is the fats in egusi is actually healthy fat. And if I was eating this alone and not with my family, I actually will not use any form of additional oil. But that is just me. But because it's not just meant for me, I had to consider what will be visually pleasing to my family and cooked it in oil. So here I poured in the pepper mix and put some seasoning and stirred it all together and put the lid on and let that simmer for a while. I think I let it simmer for about 20 minutes and then I went ahead and mixed the egusi. So like I said, egusi is high in protein, healthy fats and vitamins. It has essential amino acids, has minerals like calcium, magnesium, manganese, potassium, phosphorus, iron and zinc. And it actually has been found to be linked to lowering glycemic index. Ensure to check with your own health provider before taking advice off of internet. I just want to point out as well that yes, we use palm oil in West African cooking, but this is not the same palm oil that has bad press in Western media. When eaten in moderation, bearing in mind to reduce the additional oil we cook our egusi in, it has actually also been found to be beneficial for our heart health. Also, because of the high protein in there, it can actually be classed as a plant-based substitute for meat in some instances. Also, I have to bear in mind that I used meat broth in mixing the egusi, which means there is now additional oil on top of the palm oil I have already used in frying the pepper mix. After seeing that the pepper mix has boiled a bit and reduced to a consistency I liked, I then went ahead and added the lumps of egusi mix. I am curious to know about what you think of my method of not using as much palm oil to cook my egusi soup. So please share with me in the comments below. Also, let me know if you have tried it. If you haven't, will you consider trying it and let me know what you think. I always make sure that I do not waste anything. So rinse the bowl with the egusi mix out and pour that into the pan and added the remaining meat stock in there. I stirred a little bit. Actually, I shouldn't have stirred at this point. I should have just taken the pot, by the handle and just shaking it just a bit to create some room for the egusi lumps. So I covered, let that simmer for about 20 minutes. If I wanted the egusi to be more lumpy than I got at the end, I shouldn't stir at this point. I should let it carry on cooking a little bit more, just so the egusi lumps do not break too much. But I didn't want it to be too lumpy, so I went in and stirred it. I took some egusi out of the pot before continuing with my cooking. I'll be sharing that video in the coming weeks with you so you can see what I made with the other half. I then went in and put the goat meat in there, which I had already roasted in oven. So I boiled and then put in my oven just to give it that maybe fried meat flavor, but not deep fried in oil. And also when you bake in the oven, it actually It helps you to take out some of the fats in there. After adding the goat meat into the pot of egusi soup, I then stirred it all together thoroughly to ensure the meat is all coated in all of the egusi. I added some water because the consistency was quite thick at this point before putting the lid on and let that simmer for about 20 minutes. So at this point, after about 15 minutes, I went in, I stirred it all together and ensured that it was all ready for me to start adding my greens. You can see here that I added spring greens. I took them out of the bag, rinsed them properly before adding them. If there's any other soup you would like me to maybe customize or show you how I cook it, that actually supports our health rather than just trying to do what people, we have been shown that is right, let me know and I'll do that video, inshallah, and share with you. I also then went on with some frozen spinach, which I defrosted it before adding into my pan. So at this point, you can tell that because I've only just added the spinach in, I will be taking the soup off heat in the next 5 minutes. So I just worked all the vegetables in properly, stirred it all properly together. But be mindful, if this was a fish soup, if this egusi had fish in, I will not be stirring so much. So just be mindful that it's only because it's all meat, which is quite dry. I had the luxury of being able to stir properly. So after 5 minutes roughly on heat, it was ready to eat, so I served a portion out. You can see me here, I went in with my metal spoon, but at this point I was very aware not to dig in too far. So here is me serving the soup into a bowl. I really think if you want to eat your egusi soup to be as red as we are used to seeing, just add a lot more tatashe into your soup base and you get the result you want without the oil.